Hello and welcome into the Real Estate Beat. I'm Amy Atkins.
I am Mike Meena.
And we are here with high energy today to tell you everything you need to know about real estate lending and the process and things that happen and what we see. And so, Mike, let's talk a little bit about what you see when other lenders kind of maybe can't make it happen.
Well, we've had quite a few fallouts lately, and it's no shock. Remember, and we've talked about it here, about how a lot of banks will go ahead and they'll take an application over the phone and they'll do, here's your pre-approval before they even get anything, any of the paperwork back. So that's a situation, but we had a couple in the last week that I thought were really funny because we were able to do both of them, and I think it's really interesting. One that we ran into last week I thought was amazing. The people, I looked at their bank statements and there was cash deposit. And I'm like, when did you put all this in? She said, well, we had the money in our mattress and da-da-da-da-da. And all of a sudden we decided we were buying a house, so we needed to put $100,000 in the bank. And I'm like, yeah, you can't use cash deposit. She said, well, that's what the other bank told us. So what did we do? We said, okay, well, you got a couple of options. First option is get the bridge loan. We'll get a parent. So we got the parents, and we were able to get them a bridge loan for the down payment. They can give the parents the cash after we close. Mm-hmm. The other one that I found even more interesting was they had like a 548 credit score. And they had a ton of money down because they were selling their property. They were in escrow, 10 days to close. Mm. They're like, Mike, we need to get this thing closed, da-da-da-da-da. I knew they should have come to you first. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Thanks for
548 is a low credit score.
Yeah. 620 is the minimum with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Now, these people didn't have horrible credit. They had poor credit, but we ran an analyzer and the credit score will go well over 620, probably into the 660-ish range. With the 30% down that they're putting on the house, they should have no problem once they get up over the 620 and qualifying. Okay. Their debt ratio is fine. Everything else is good. We could have put them in FHA, but we really didn't have the time, and they don't want to pay that UFMIP, which I'll jump into in a bit. So I said, why don't we just do a quickie conventional loan, do a quote unquote bridge loan, private money loan, whatever you want to call it. We'll slide them into that, pay the debts off, because remember they just sold that house, get their credit score up over 660, and boom, they're going to have that, they're going to get that regular conventional loan. So we slid them into a loan at like 8.5%, knowing that they're going to be able to refinance into the 6.5%-ish range, wherever we are right now. So that was a simple fix. But why the other bank waited 20 days, I'll never know. I mean, 20 days of escrow, we'll figure it out. It out. They never figured it out. And by the way, these things are closing simultaneously. What I would have done had I had the file day one is I would have lent them the money to get their credit scores up. And we probably would just be as a one-time close here. But instead, these people are going to have to pay closing costs twice.
So, this was obviously something that came to you to do quick. How long did it take you to get the credit score up?
We'll do that after we close because we have no choice because they're closing simultaneously. We have 10 days to close escrow. Okay. It'll probably take us 30 days or so to get that credit score up. I could have lent them money now, but I didn't want to hassle that. But if we were at the start of escrow, I would have gotten their credit scores paid off, or had I gotten them pre-approved prior to going into escrow, we would have gotten their credit scores up by now. But the problem is their 10 days is not going to be enough to get the scores to where we need them to be. But I do believe that we're going to be able to get them a higher score. We're going to get them out of this other loan, assuming they have no late payments, which we're assuming will be correct.
But you coached them on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about that, and again, everything should be fine as long as they do with their job.
As long as they listen to you and do what you tell them to do.
Yes, so that's generally the thing.
And how did the agents on both ends feel?
Stoked.
About getting that deal closed?
Oh, you saved it. Yeah, you saved it. Thank you. Well, we're not closed yet. We're closing this week. But again, it's doing your job right, doing it from the start to the finish, looking at everything, looking at all avenues. And for those who have sat with us, they know that we try to look at all avenues, even in your business. So it's kind of what we do.
Wow, so we got some happy buyers who are going to be moving into a home instead of it blowing up and nobody getting their commission, nobody getting their home.
Right.
A lot of sad faces.
Well, listing agent would have resold it. So let's say we saved one person's commission.
Well, and the buyer got to get it.
Yeah, the buyer got the house. That's the most important thing. So that's one of the things. The other thing I wanted to talk about, we're dealing with a lot of these FHA buyers right now are people that are going to FHA, and where is that line drawn of FHA versus conventional? I was just looking this morning, the FHA rate, if you were doing a 0-point FHA loan, is the same rate as a 2-point conventional loan. But FHA charges a 1.75% upfront mortgage insurance premium. So a lot of clients freak out at the upfront mortgage insurance premium. So now it becomes a question of FHA, what's the difference between FHA and conventional? Maybe we should do that in the show next week.
I think so too, and I know it's a show for another time, but what a lot of people don't realize is FHA's been around since, the 1930s, and it's the original first-time buyer program. It really is.
It's not a first-time buyer program anymore.
No, but that's what's, it's been around a long time, tried and true, and it's just a really good tool to use. So there's some good information about, again, putting all the puzzle pieces are all over here, and they come to you and they go, okay, Mike, we started over here, but now, this is all going to fall apart, and you're doing this, and you're doing this, and you're doing this, and then...
Well, let's be real on this, okay? Not every file can be put back together again. I mean, Humpty Dumpty fell down the hill, I think, and then put back, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I'm not really good with my nursery rhymes. That was Andrew Dice Clay who was really good with nursery rhymes, I think, if I recall correctly. Needless to say, I can't put everything back together. No lender can. When a bozo lender gives a pre-approval based on a word of a client who doesn't know and isn't lying and just trying to get pre-approved on a Tuesday evening, and they send off that pre-qualification letter, it means nothing. Yeah. Get your lender in there and make sure that they're diving into it. We get clients all the time that go, I don't want to give you that now. We haven't even found a house. Yeah, good for you. Give me everything, and then we will get it pre-approved, and when you get in escrow, you will close escrow. That's the most important part. We don't have fallouts. We don't allow fallouts. So that's
in this market too, low inventory, multiple offers, they can't afford to wait to get you their stuff until the last minute. No. They need to have it before they get in the car.
Well, we go back to last weekend, and I had people like, I want to put an offer in on Monday, and they get me half the stuff.
Yeah.
And by Wednesday or Thursday, they're getting the rest of the stuff. They were in a super huge hurry on the weekend when they found the house.
Yeah.
If they were pre-approved prior, they would have had their offer accepted on Monday. We'll see how those deals go.
Get your stuff in. Don't get half your stuff in, because then you're only half able to be successful. So get it all. If he's asking for it, get it to him. Right?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Real Estate Beat.
Real Estate Beat. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. Make it a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.